Yeah.
All right, we're live.
Okay, here we go. Welcome to the Entrefluential Life podcast. This is the early morning show. I'm your host, John Tanner.
And I'm your co-host, Sebastian Tanner. Welcome to episode 72.
Woohoo! 72, man. This is awesome. We are super late. We're an hour behind schedule, and we apologize for that. We've been working out some new things here with the podcast. I love that StreamYard just came up with a new thing for our intros and outros. So we were having a conversation, and we just got carried away with our early morning prep talk. And we were like, okay, here we are, an hour late. We got to get started. Yeah. So here we are. Thank you for bearing with us for our late arrival, but thank you for joining us, whether you're here now live or if you're watching the replay. We appreciate having you here, and we've got some really cool information to share with you today. Right, Sebastian?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited for it.
Especially that new intro and outro. That's going to be super cool. We were just talking about that. I think we need to maybe go through that again and maybe see if there's any tweaks that we need to make before we upload those. But it'll be really cool. We love that StreamYard is growing, and we're growing with them.
I know they've been making a lot of advancements lately with their technology, like the way that the software is running and what you can do with a live show. It's obviously when you're not going on a live recording and you just have your own production that you're going to edit, splice some videos together, and then you post your podcast on YouTube. You can put an intro, you can put an outro, you can do whatever you want with it. But when you're doing a live recording, you've only up until now had so many options for what you can do with it. And StreamYard is like taking the game to the next level. Like now they just released the intro and outro. I didn't even know that they had that yet until my dad told me. And when I downloaded StreamYard to like go on my phone and whatnot on my iPad, and when I'm logging into our account on there to see what I can do, they were like showing me this little like, oh, welcome to StreamYard. And they're showing me all these little tips and tricks with using StreamYard, what you can do with it, what you can do with the live show. And it's pretty evident that they're advancing it often. Like they have, it's obvious that they have more plans even than just the intro and outro. Like they're making a lot of advancements, which is super cool.
Yeah, speaking of advancements, so we now we have a permanent link to the morning show. So if you save this link that you came to here, all you got to do is click on that, and you can come straight to our show, which we're going to start sharing that link on our social media posts down the road so that people can save it. And the other thing is that now when we have guests, Sebastian, check this out. Now when we have guests, they can stream the show to their platforms as well.
You're kidding me.
No, that's super awesome, right?
I wouldn't have even see this is what I'm talking about. StreamYard's got plans. I would have never even thought about that.
They sure
That's
do.
Incredible.
Yep. So stay tuned for more improvements.
Tuned.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen now because I want to go ahead and pull up our physical tip of the day.
We're going to get into this physical tip of the day. It's something that we're both quite excited about, I would add.
Absolutely. And so our physical tip of the day is an exercise. We're going to start going over some Tai Chi here. And so this is the exercise. I'm going to stop. Whoa, come on. It's going. I need to start it from the beginning. So here we go. So with Tai Chi, this is the very first exercise that you want to do is like you're opening yourself up. You start with breathing.
Breathing is so important with like different aspects of sports and whatnot, up and down.
Here we go.
Nice.
I don't know if it has any audio. Let's see.
I want to hear their music in the background.
Yeah, I guess not. I know that would be cool.
Big fun, zhao, 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 zhao.
Oops, sorry. Yeah, I don't think they have audio on this one. All right.
Oh.
So breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out.
It looks like the movement of the yin yang. The way the
Isn't that
fish.
great? So it is the move.
The
That's
fish.
exactly what it is, Sebastian. It's the movement of
Yeah.
the yin yang. And so
Wow.
what you're doing is you're creating a ball of energy.
Wow.
Let's watch it again.
That's incredible.
I know, I
I
love
love
it.
that
And that's
outfit
just the
too,
beginning.
man. I love
And
those
the
outfits.
beautiful thing about Tai Chi is that you're it's physical and mental alignment. You're aligning your body and your mind and your spirit.
Right.
It's physical, mental, and spiritual exercise. Here we go again. So you raise your hands up, and you bring them down. Exhale.
Paint the fence, Daniel-san.
Then you open up wide.
Wow.
It opens up your lungs when you do that. Then you bring it in to create the ball. You open up the ball, and then you close the ball. Hold the ball in your hand. And you open up the ball again, and then you close the ball. Bring the ball into your hand again. Right? That's energy. And that's the beginning of Tai Chi. So
who is
I
this
want to continue
creator
to show
that
you
we're
different
using?
exercises, but they're pretty. So I have not this guy. This is for my first time seeing this guy, but I have another guy that I watch on YouTube, and I'm gonna find that those links so we can share it on the screen. But they're kind of long. They're like 15 minutes long. So we'll see how if we like maybe we just play a little bit of it, maybe we play the whole thing. I don't know. We'll have to see how we go with that. But I love this, and I want to start doing it again myself. These Tai Chi exercises. Okay,
Yeah,
and
what I like about
the mental tip of the day.
Yes, so the mental tip of the day is a quote. It is the secret to your future is hidden in your daily routine.
All right, the secret to your future is in your daily routine. Absolutely. So, what can you expect of your future? You can certainly expect that your future is going to be the same as it is today if you continue with the same routine. The only way your future is going to change is if you change what you do.
Nothing changes if nothing changes, man. That's what Theo said.
If you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I like this. The secret to your future is hidden in your daily routine. It's hidden because it's almost like you don't really look at yourself from a third person point of view and think I'm doing the same crap every single day and that's why I'm not getting any results. So it's almost like it's hidden in your routine. Like you haven't changed nothing in your routine, so nothing in your life is going to change. Nothing. It's going to be the same life over and over. And then when you do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, isn't that the definition of insanity?
Yeah, expecting.
So aren't a lot of us insane for thinking that life is going to magically just so much money is just going to fall into our hands, or an amazing body is just going to fall upon us, or God is just going to give us strength or give us patience or give us courage, or is he giving us opportunities to be courageous, or is he giving us opportunities to show true strength?
Yeah.
How can you
how can you expect anything different?
It's impossible. Like with me, with the gym and like the diet, like I've been going to the gym for a couple of years now, and the diet has been the same this whole time, and it's only up until now where now I'm finally down 20 pounds. And it's like these past couple of years, my weight has actually been going up and up and up. It's like I haven't made any progress. I've made just regression. Like it's like
because of your diet.
100% because of the diet. That was never going to change. And so my routine in my day was doing whatever I would do, go to work and then go to the gym. But I never added the diet to my routine.
Yeah.
So I might have put on some muscle, sure, but I feel like I regressed as a person with
my here, man. Same here. Like I started off at the beginning of the year, I lost like 12 pounds because I was doing the Daniel fast. And then I started eating whatever. And especially the worst thing is eating ice cream and cookies every day.
Yeah.
And that's pure sugar. And where does sugar go? It goes to the gut.
Yeah, so much. The thing is, like, these sweets, that's why I recommended you the Halo Top, because that's how, like, a method that I found to be able to curb my sweet tooth, because I notice
Yeah.
at nighttime is
Yeah.
when I get a sweet tooth, because during the day I'm pretty busy
Yeah.
with work, with trying to do my stuff for my own business now, with trying to help my dad with this podcast, trying to get
Mhm.
more involved in this. I have nonstop days now. And
Mhm.
so in the daytime, I'm not really worried about snacking. It's when the nighttime hits that I'm chilling watching TV that I'm like, oh, a mint chocolate chip ice cream with a hot brownie and a hot cookie and chocolate fudge and caramel and whipped cream on top sounds delicious right now. I don't know what in
It
me does
sounds
that?
great.
Sounds amazing, right? I want a hot fudge sundae with everything on it.
I
And
was
then
just like Scooby Doo. I was like, oh boy.
I don't know why
Okay.
my brain does that, but it just like puts together these combinations and like, let me have some ramen and instead of one ramen, let me just make like 3 packages of ramen.
Oh.
I don't know why
Oh
I
my gosh. All that sodium? Are you crazy,
I
man?
get I get crazy cravings.
Dude.
Like I just like want to eat.
It's
And
like asking
so
for a freaking heart attack, man.
yeah, no
All that
kidding.
salt in there. Oh,
You're gonna get heart
that
palpitations or
was
something.
another thing, man. Like my freaking blood pressure went super high from eating crap like that. And it wasn't just ramen noodles. It was the frozen dinners that you buy at Walmart,
Those
whatever, like
those
wherever you go
frozen
grocery shopping.
dinners,
Those frozen
they're
dinners are loaded with preservatives, and that's like
loaded with
salt.
sodium too. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I don't like is like all the
Dude,
preservatives that they're putting in our food is
no, you need fresh
you need
food,
to
man.
cook it yourself.
Fresh food made daily. No, don't buy frozen stuff. Don't buy anything with preservatives. Fresh
It's
food.
so terrible. And then
You,
you
you
also
know?
hold on to more water weight. So it's like you're trying to cut
Yes.
and buying those
Oh my god.
frozen
And I drink a lot of
meals.
water now anyway. You know?
Yeah. And
You drink
yeah,
a lot of
it's
water?
terrible. I drink a lot of water. I drink
Yeah.
a
So
lot of water.
you're
Yesterday
already
I
adding that
didn't.
water weight. It's like extra.
Yeah, like well, the thing is, when you drink more water, you actually will cut more because the
Oh
water
really?
is like it's imagine if you take your car and you put new oil in it every single day. You do an oil change. You
Yeah.
drain out that old oil and you put the new oil in.
Dude.
That's
Okay,
what
I'm glad
water
you
is doing
brought it
for
up
our
because I gotta go
body.
get an oil change today. I'm like way overdue. But I don't want to pay $100, which is what I gotta pay.
I saw the look on your face that I reminded you of $100 that you got to spend.
Man, that just felt painful right now.
Yeah, dude, I feel your pain. Now that I'm
Oh
living
my
on
god! Can
my
we change the
own,
subject? Because like that's
I
hurting me
feel
right
it.
now.
Yeah, I know. I can feel the stress. But pretty much like, yeah, guys, that sodium is quite a bit. But anyways, so my body gets these cravings. I naturally get these cravings because I'm fat, dude. Like I love it. And I think even when I get ripped, my brain will always be a little chubby kid because I just love these different sweets and I love food, man. I'm a food aficionado. So,
But you
anyways,
can love food, but you just have to get accustomed to eating small portions,
it's
right?
not just
Because like
small
if you go to
portions.
fine
It's what
dining
you're eating.
restaurants,
It's I can go. The thing is, if I can, a small
do you
portion could
prefer
be a
quantity or
cheeseburger.
quality?
Yeah, it's quality over everything. I think like it's quality and it's quantity and it's everything
Can't have both,
combined
buddy.
because yeah, like the problem is when people
Can't
think
have
of
both.
small portions. For me, I can go to a Burger King, right, and I can get a double cheeseburger,
Yeah.
and that will never fill me up. I can have
Dude,
like
you know
5 of
what?
those,
You know
right?
what you have to master? You
Hmm.
know what you have to master?
Hmm.
You have to master self-sacrifice. Right?
Yeah. So
Me too. Me too.
I guess
Like you
leading
have to
back
think about
to
like, do you want a fit body or do you want to indulge in food?
and that's why I use Halo Top instead of ice cream now.
I
I
know,
guess
man. There you go. So you gotta have those
to
solutions,
circle
right?
back to the
Like you can pig out on salad, right? Like if you want to eat a large quantity of food,
it
you can pig
depends.
out on salad.
Are you putting dressing on the salad though? That's
No,
another
that's the thing. You have to put the same amount of salad dressing as you would for a small portion, then you know that you're going to use on a large portion, which minimizes it, right? Like it doesn't taste as good. But if you want to pig out, that's the best way to do it.
if you picked out, yeah, like exactly. And so that's kind of considered like volume eating for less calories, right? So
Yeah,
if you are like that where you want to pig out like how I am, then you try to find food that's less calorie dense for
yeah.
more volume. And
But at the
so
end of
when
the
you make a
day,
salad,
you're strengthening your food eating muscle, which is what you don't want to do. You need to learn to, like, you have to force your body to adapt to eating small portions.
yeah, and when you guys go through that, you're gonna feel if you were anywhere
Starving,
close to
hungry,
where I was, you're gonna
uncomfortable.
feel sick. Like I had
You'll
days
be
where I was,
irritable.
yeah, very irritable.
Yeah,
My
but
body at this
you'll get
point,
accustomed to it, man. Like, dude, when you go to boot camp, you get accustomed to a whole new lifestyle, and you don't have a choice. They force you, So your body can do it. It's just a matter of is your mind willing to allow you to do it?
and that's when you have to be the one that's in control of your mind. You can't let your mind control you, and that's what they tell you. Like you have to fortify your mind. You have to know that you're going to feel these feelings, and it's one thing to know it, and it's another thing to actually experience it. And it's going
Oh
to take
yeah,
a minute until you get over it. Like I'm just now at the point where now I'm cutting my calorie deficit. Was originally 2,500 calories. I cut it to 2,200 to get faster results, and
okay,
now I'm doing it at 2,000 calories a day. And then the more weight I'll lose is going to be the less amount of calories that I can eat to still be in a deficit, right?
yeah,
Because if
right,
I'm 220 pounds versus right now I'm sitting around 250, um, it's going to be a much different number from what I'm going to eat versus what you're going to eat versus what my girlfriend eats. Because
right.
whenever you lose the weight, eventually that calorie deficit, it cannot stay the same. It has to go lower. So, anyways, now I'm doing 2,000 calories a day. Like for this is the first week I'm going to try this out and probably do it for a little while. I'm now at the point where I'm not feeling so like irritable, nauseous, hangry. I would feel like sick almost. Like when I first did my cut, like when I first started cutting my calories, I was easily consuming around 4 to 5,000 calories a day beforehand, and that's why I was getting close to like
Wow, that's
270,
awful.
273 to 274 was roughly
No,
where I was like my heaviest,
yeah,
and
no
my
wonder,
stomach
man.
was like expanding like I was pregnant, and so
Oh my
that's when
god.
I got like, and I keep it real with you guys, so you
Yeah.
guys understand the reality of this.
Oh, dude, trust me. There's a whole lot of people out there that have been in that same boat.
And there's a whole lot of people that don't want to say that they have been. There's a whole lot of
Yeah,
people that don't keep it real and they don't tell people what it's like.
yeah.
And
Before you can make change, you gotta accept that you are where you are because you dug your own grave.
and that's pretty much like it was a hard reality check for me because my mother always told me I was going to end up on my 600-pound life if I didn't have her. And I slowly started to think that, you know what? Maybe she wasn't full of shit, excuse my French, but I think that it was true. I think because of my eating habits, I definitely would be 600 pounds if I didn't have her in my corner as a kid, beating it down on me that you can't eat whatever the hell you want whenever you want to, because then you're going to get fat. And your
Mm.
quality of life when you're overweight, when I tell you guys, my quality of life had diminished immensely from when I was in high school. And then I started looking back at where I went wrong. I'm like, man, when I was in high school, and there was one point where I got cut and I was following her program and I was amazing. Like I woke up every day so energized. I woke up, my energy levels, my testosterone was probably through the roof. And as I've gotten older, my testosterone has gone down and I feel my energy, just everything as a person, the way I live my life, my quality has gone down because I'm gaining more and more weight and I'm getting more depressed and I don't want to take pictures. Even right now, I don't want to take pictures. I don't even want to do this podcast because I feel like my face is still fat. And I have to look at when I was 20 pounds heavier, it's been almost 2 months now, maybe, since I started doing this like dieting and then kind of do my cheating on the weekend. So it's making it sustainable for me. And I've lost about 20 pounds. And so now I'm encouraged to go even harder on the calorie deficit and
Good.
go even less on the cheat meals. So anyways, so like the way I feel right now talking to you guys, I don't want you guys to see what I look like. I don't want the world to see what I look like. And then I look at where I was
But
two months
you
ago.
look a lot leaner. You
Thank
are.
you.
It shows, man, which is great. Just keep
It's
going.
hard for me to tell, and that's what I
Mhm.
want. I'm happy that you guys that I'm doing this podcast so you guys can see the whole progress of it because
Mhm.
when you look at yourself every single day, and you're your biggest person.
Critic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're your biggest critic. Tomato. Um,
Well, the
it's
critique
hard
is
to
what the
see
critic does.
right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're your biggest critic. So it's hard for me to see any progress, and so I have to look at the way my physique was 20 pounds ago, and I was like, okay, I was 9 months in there. I was 9 months ready to give birth to a baby girl or a boy. That's how bad it was. Um, that's when I feel like, okay, I can do this. Like I'm actually am making progress. But our eating habits is a big problem in America,
Yeah.
especially more compared to other countries. And I think it's important that people know. I don't want to ramble too much because the time is
Yeah.
running.
No, we gotta move on to the next stage. But
It's a
you're
huge
right.
problem in America, and
Yeah.
parents are
But
miseducating their kids. Like you
yeah.
have to be in control of your eating habits. Find different things. If you like ice cream, and that's a whole bunch of calories for one serving, if you get Halo
Go
Top,
to go.
250 calories or three something for the whole pie.
Yeah.
Do
Switch it up.
do
You know,
changes.
and
Make
start
healthy
reducing it.
ones.
Like you want to splurge. Don't eat the whole pint. Eat half a pint, right?
Exactly.
And
That's
then
an
next week
amazing
eat a
method.
quarter of a pint, right?
Yes,
Push
that's an
yourself a little
amazing
further.
method. You
You
gotta.
got you got to stretch yourself a little bit further and further. Right? Find
It's
you
gonna.
know
You build that discipline.
you have to, man. You just have to, right? Because the quality of life is going to be way better listen, when you feel good, when you look good, you feel good, and when you feel good, you do good. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, this
It's so
has
simple.
been
Like
the
you've got to,
hardest.
if you want self confidence, exercise every day.
Yeah, and diet too. Exercising is easy. I can go to the gym and do whatever all day
And
long.
diet, you
The
have to do
diet's the
both.
hardest part.
They're the twins. They go together. If you
You
don't
have
have
to do
both
both.
of them, you have neither of them. You're wasting your time.
Yeah, it's imagine like your time is your currency because we're living on borrowed time is what I believe.
Yeah.
There is no tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. So
Yeah.
now it's like I
Live your
spend
best life
time
today.
today.
Like put your best foot forward,
Yeah.
He says that while taking a sip of a Dunkin' Donuts drink.
I do. So there's the other thing. I like to have something. It's what fitness influencers are going to tell you to stay away from. This is regular with cream, sugar, and it's got caramel. What I'm going to do is because I know I like to have something sweet in my day, I have to sacrifice my sweetness in the evening because I'm having it right now in the morning. So I'm going to go on my fitness pal. I'm going to track everything that went into this drink, which is probably going to be around 350 calories is what I'm hoping for. I hope not too much more. I forget. Maybe it's like 370. But pretty much now, this one drink is going to affect my 2,000 calories for my day. So I want you guys to kind of recognize that. Like, if you're going to have something, don't just drink this and then you go and work out. So you're going to call these ghost calories. Like, oh, yeah, I went to the gym for an hour, so I definitely burned off the calories of that coffee. It's not how it works. And I know from experience that you think that you're tracking it like that, and then you're going to go and work out, and then these are just ghost calories, and it's not going to affect you. It's not true. So I'm sacrificing over 300 calories to have this drink. And is it the best option? Absolutely not. But this is what makes it sustainable for me, and this is why I've lost 20 pounds. And this is why there's going to be other people that tell me, oh, you shouldn't drink that coffee. And have you lost any weight yet? You haven't. So you have to know what your weakness is, know how you can make it sustainable. I'm making this diet sustainable for me by having this. I also have another option where I get a sparked energy from Dunkin' Donuts, and it's around 170 calories, which is a lot less than this drink. And then I have another option where I can make coffee at the house, and the coffee's 5 calories, and you put 2 tablespoons of coffee mate creamer in there, and then you're at 70 calories. Now you're at 75 calories for your coffee in the morning. Or you can get a no sugar Red Bull, and you can have 10 calories or 20, depending on the bottle size.
Yeah.
That's the best option to go, which is I switch it up. So
okay.
I want you guys to kind of see what I'm doing and what's working for me, and you guys can make your own decision. But if you go and get a sweet drink, you have to track it, and now you're going to sacrifice some food. I'm sacrificing some of my eating today for this coffee, which is terrible, but I'm making it work for me. It's what's been working for me for 20 pounds. So
Yeah, the best thing to do is find a role model. Like look at somebody, whether you're a male or a female, find the person that has the body that you want and find out how they eat and mimic them because it'll most likely work for you too.
Yeah. And if it doesn't, then you have to make adjustments. This is the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life. There's nothing that's been as challenging as this. And you guys got to get through it. I'm here with you. If you have
Yes,
stuff that like you want to talk about it, you can come to the show and leave us comments or DM us.
100% because we're all about making growth, right? And we're walking the walk too as we do it.
It's so challenging. I'll be happy to talk to any of you guys about what you feel with it and how you can get around it.
Yep, and slow and steady wins the race, man. You know, you can expect that to change your life, change your body, change your future outcome all in one day. It's a process, you know, and every step leads you towards the end goal. So just keep making progress. Make one positive step every single day, and those add up over time.
I'm
All
happy you
right,
said
so
that. Yeah.
I think we're ready to go ahead and move on to the spiritual tip of the day.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so we've got the book of Hebrews is a quick summary. It's a 2-page summary. Do you have the questions, Sebastian? The key challenges?
I have our keys.
Okay, cool. All right, so let me read this real quick. Even seasoned veteran Christians can feel overwhelmed and grow discouraged by life's relentless troubles. An unknown writer, Luke, Apollos, Barnabas, grew concerned about some Hebrew Christians in the first century. Years before they had started their Christian experience amid persecution, but with great enthusiasm. Now they were facing renewed pressure and were in danger of reverting to their old faith. Could some of them relapse back into a Christianless Judaism? In this letter, our author insists that Jesus is greater than anything in the Old Testament. He is superior to the prophets, the angels, the law of Moses, and the priesthood of Aaron. He himself is our great high priest and the atoning sacrifice for our sins. He will never leave us or forsake us, and he knows exactly what we are going through. Our great exhortation runs all the way through Hebrews. Persevere. Wow, that goes in line with what we were talking about. Persevere. Just keep going. Don't give up and don't quit. Let us lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily ensnares us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus. I love that. I love that. You have need of endurance so that after you have done the will of God, you may receive the promise, which is eternal life. Times are tough, but that's when we need to turn to this wonderful book. Every verse in Hebrews is ammunition against discouragement. That's why I love the Bible so much, is because it's a book of encouragement. And we go through life and we get discouraged. We get discouraged by, just like what Sebastian and I have been talking about this morning. We can get discouraged by our lifestyle. We can get discouraged by things that other people say, right? And so where do you go for encouragement? Where do you go to re-strengthen yourself, to reinvigorate yourself? Well, you can go to a few different places. You can go to the Bible and read positive affirmations that show you that God guarantees you, when you have a relationship with him and you read his word, he guarantees that he will strengthen you. He will give you a new mindset. He'll give you a way of life that's way better than trying to live life on the way that the world wants you to live it, because all of those things are fleeting, which means that those things pass and they have no weight to them. But when you live this kind of a lifestyle, you do things in your life that has weight to it. It's like you treasure your family. You treasure goodness over evil. That's really important because it makes your heart happy. And who cares if you have all the things, all the trappings of life in the world, if your heart's unhappy? And so you want your heart to be happy. So that's what we're talking about here. It says, whatever your lot today, hold fast to the confession of your hope without wavering, for he who promised is faithful. And it means that you can guarantee, you have a confident expectation that this word is true and what it says will come to pass. There's so much more in that I could go on and on, but I just want to encourage you, renew your mind, renew your heart, through the Bible and do these things that we were talking about earlier, like exercise in the morning so that you can strengthen your body and you can feel confident, right? Take step-by-step procedures to get to that better you that you're looking to achieve, that you 2.0. And that's it. Sebastian, I'm going to turn it over to you for the key challenges or the 4 keys.
Yeah, so we have the key theme is to persevere in your faith and discipleship. Our key challenge is prepare for the race ahead so that you will endure and finish strong in your faith, leaving a legacy for others to follow. Our key verse, let us hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering. For he who promised is faithful. Hebrews verse 10:23. And lastly, our key prayer, God, help me to hold fast to your promises and to persevere as I await Christ's return.
Awesome. So, it's easy to get discouraged because of all the bad things that we see happening around us. And so this message is saying, when you see those bad things happening and you have doubts, you're like, well, is Jesus going to come back and rescue us? When is that going to happen? We've been talking about this for 2,000 years. It says, hold on, be strong and be encouraged that it is going to happen. And 2,000 years is like 2 days in God's time. We think of it in our own linear minds, but God he's everlasting to everlasting. So 2,000 years to him is like 2 days to us. We just have to be patient. So just hold on to the faith with everybody else that's holding on to the same faith as well, that it's going to happen, and enjoy the process, man, because life is a gift. I 100% guarantee you that life is a gift. And it's really sad to hear about people who take their own lives. It's really sad to hear that because they're here for a reason. They have a purpose, and they're stealing the joy, the light, the salt that they're supposed to give to others. They're stealing it from them when they take their own life. That's really sad because they're hurting those other people that could have benefited from their presence. So when we think about life as a gift, when we pursue our each and every day with that thought that life is a gift, your outcome is completely different than if you think life is a challenge, life is a struggle, life is full of despair, full of depression. You can choose positive or negative. We all have that choice. That choice is right here at the end of our nose. And so when you refocus to start your day with life is a gift, or something happens in the middle of your day and you find something discouraging and it brings you down, just go back to thinking life is a gift and start looking for positive things. If you look at other people who are in worse situations than you are, it's very easy to be thankful of the things that are good in your life. And if you look around, there's beauty everywhere if you just want to look at it. There's beauty in the trees. There's beauty in the flowers. There's beauty in the variety of birds. Just look around. Look at the sky in the morning and in the evening when it's changing colors. It's amazing to see the sunrise and the sunset. It's like God is painting a picture for us with Earth all around us on a daily basis. So it's there if you want it.
Another thing is like you can talk about the problems that you go through during the day, and you can feel the emotion. Like I had to do it this morning, and if you were to have this conversation with somebody who's like, there's so many people that whatever your problems in life are, for them that's Disneyland. They wish they could have those types of problems. When you're complaining about being at work and the work is slow and you're just sitting around, like, dude, at least you're getting freaking paid to do that. At least you're getting paid to sit on your ass, because there's people that are making commission that get paid for the jobs that they're on. They don't get paid for anything else. They don't get hourly wage. If there's no work, then there's no money for them. If there's a bunch of work, there's a bunch of money, which is a good side. But there's like so many people that they would wish to be in our own shoes. Whatever problems that we go through, especially in America, like, come on, like, it's, you know, you can feel the emotion. I had to feel my emotions this morning. And then once you accept it, it's like, okay, then you have the reality check of there's somebody out there that would love to have my problems. So then I'm like, you know what, give me my problems back and let me work on it and deal with it. Because
I love that.
Like the stuff that we go through is Disney World. Like they wish Just people in third world countries that have
Yeah.
nothing. Their
Yeah.
families have nothing, and they would only pray to be in our situation. Like,
yeah. Yeah, there's people struggling right now, like the hurricanes that went through Asheville and Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yep.
Their lives. I have a friend who's up there right now. Her life is disrupted. She has no internet,
Wow.
no electricity in her house. Right? She can't go to work. She can't go buy groceries. She's probably going to her car to charge her phone because she can't charge it in the house. And
Oh, I've
how
been there.
reliant are we on our phones? If you
I've
have no
been there.
electricity, you don't have your phone. I mean, come
Yeah.
on. You got to make it. You got to figure a way, right? So like, and there's trees down, and like, there's a million people without power. Like, there are struggles that people are going through, even here in America right now, that are way different from what we're going through. So like, we have to keep those things in mind, you know?
Yeah, have to keep a sense of gratitude. Like,
Yeah.
you guys aren't wrong to feel the way that you feel because you're a human, and you're not wrong at all to have your emotion and feel it. Because if you just ignore it, then you're gonna explode one day.
Yeah. But right. But it's the reason why you feel it is because it's like an alarm system that's triggering you to think about it, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's there, right? Emotion is energy in motion. That's what emotion stands for. Emotion, energy in motion. Why is it in motion? Because it's an alarm system to trigger that something's off, and then now you got to shift it over to your mind. Start thinking about why is this happening? What cause and effect.
Absolutely.
So I guess we'll go ahead and shift over to the Entrefluential tip of the day. How's that?
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. And then I got a story. All right, so the Entrefluential tip of the day. So we're going through the.
Okay, there we go. It was glitching.
Let me show you. The screen's glitching.
Now I'm back. It was like it was loading for a second. I had a notification pop up on like a laptop, and so then I hit X, and then I was like hearing bits and pieces of what you're saying. I'm like, what's going on? I hope I'm not missing anything valuable.
So now it's good?
Yeah, now it's perfect. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what we've been going through on the Entrefluential tips is we're going through this this wheel here, which is the small business improvement matrix. And right now there's 4 different categories, and we're now starting the mitigation category. So part of a business ownership is mitigating your risks. And by mitigation, it means to try to resolve before a problem happens, right? That means to mitigate, to push off. So in this section, the first section of risk mitigation, the first section is personal risk mitigation. And by personal, we can look at the 5 Ds of personal risks. Lawyers call them the 4 Ds, but I've made this the 5 Ds because I have a 5th one that I wanted to add to the 4 Ds. So these 5 Ds are death, divorce, distress, which means financial distress, disaster, like the hurricane, and disability. That means if you get injured in a car accident or on the job, you have disability. So if one of these 5 things happen, we don't want them to happen, but if they do happen, do you have a contingency plan? Yeah. And so the way that you can mitigate for these types of risk, the contingency plan that you can have, here are some suggestions that I wrote down. For disability, you should have a power of attorney. The power of attorney gives your family members instructions on what you want them to do if you become disabled. And there's whole different areas of disability. So you want to cover all of those in your power of attorney.
Right.
The worst case would be like you're alive, but you're on life support. You're like a vegetable. You know what they call it? It's crude, but that's what they say. And then a mild form of disability is you injured your foot, and now you have to walk on a crutch, and you can't do that job that you used to do driving a forklift. So that you could probably have some insurance for that disability, but your life is going to change because now you can no longer do that job. So you have to have some instructions there on what you can do if that were to happen to you. But that's mild, so that's just like buying insurance to make sure that you're covered in that position, and then you can look for a new way of income, right? So you can't drive a truck, forklift anymore. Now you probably have to go work on a computer. Okay, so power of attorney. The second thing is to have an asset protection trust. An asset protection trust is something that you would create so that you have some money on the backside, like money in a trust that would help fund your lifestyle if you were to lose your ability to work. So there's an asset protection trust, and that could be beneficial to your family members as well. So if maybe if you're, God forbid, if you have a child that that is needy, right? Like a mentally challenged child or physically challenged child, then an asset protection trust could be something that you leave behind for them so that when you're gone, if you're the caretaker, you're the primary provider for that child who can't go work a regular job, you can have an asset protection trust in place so that when you die, that money will take care of that child for the rest of their life. So that's a good thing to have. Insurance, we know that life insurance is a valuable item to have. There's also income protection insurance. So if you're unable to earn your income, the income protection insurance would kick in and provide you money because you're not, like COVID, for instance, right? COVID shut down businesses. And so how are you able to feed your family? You could have an income protection insurance policy to feed your family during that time when we were shut down. There's also trauma and total and permanent disability insurance. So again, if you were permanently disabled and you're no longer able to work, if you have that insurance, it would provide you with a payment that it could be a lump sum. It could be I don't know how that part works. You have to talk to an insurance agent, but to provide you with income if you lose your total ability to earn income. There's also D&O policies. We call them directors and officers policies. And you can have those on business. Like if you have more than one business owner, then you can have those policies on each owner of the business so that if something happens to one of the business owners, that insurance policy would kick in and pay off the other business owner's equity so they could get a lump sum check. And now you could take over ownership of that business partner's shares because they're no longer able to do that job. And then another thing you could do is you could add some clauses into your operating agreement so that if any shares get transferred from your partner to a family member or to a third party that buys their shares in the company, that those shares become non-voting shares. And what that means is that you don't have a partner making decisions who are not in the best interest of your company. If that person, that partner sells their interest, or if they die and a family member inherits those interests, they won't be able to make changes to your company because they won't have voting rights. They'll just have rights to the equity. So those are non-voting shares. That's important to put in your operating agreement. That's another form of risk mitigation. And then lastly, you can add a clause in your contracts for if somebody becomes drug or alcohol dependent, that they would lose their voting rights as well, because you don't want them making bad decisions if they're drug or alcohol dependent. So those are two clauses to mitigate your risks on the personal level inside of your business. So
that's important because that stuff affects your mind. It affects the way that you think, and they can destroy your business if they fall under that type of stuff. Yeah, easily.
Especially if they get hooked on heroin.
Oh my God. At that point, you're a zombie. If you're addicted to fentanyl, heroin, these other things, you become a zombie, and your one thing in life is to wake up and get high. And that's so bad to have in your company. You don't want to have somebody like that in your business. It's going to destroy
you have to have those clauses just in case, if you don't have those clauses, then your company's at risk.
Yeah, because they'll take the company's money. They'll do anything to get high.
Exactly.
Imagine like your account just immediately slowly the funds start disappearing until there's
nothing. And then you're gonna have to try to how difficult and how costly it would be for you to try to go disgorge your lost assets and get the court involved. Once you get the court involved, there's extra expenses. Legal fees,
so expensive. The lawyer, man.
So the best way to mitigate that is to have these clauses in place.
Yeah, because you don't want somebody embezzling your funds, man. Like it will destroy you.
Ruin your company.
Because then imagine your safety bracket of money that you have it's all gone. So then you think that you can sue them and get it all back, and you have nothing to sue them with.
Yeah, it could be a slow dip. They could engage in a contract so they can get a quick win, some cash, and that contract you'll be bound to, and that could have long-term consequences. Or you breach the contract, which costs you money for breaching the contract. So either way, those things shouldn't happen, and if they do, having this clause in place could help you to rewind that from happening, to undo those acts because of this clause. Separate your liability as a business owner from
You got
those
to
things from
protect
happening.
yourself. Yeah, protect
So,
yourself, protect your business.
That's what we call risk mitigation. So that's So let me go ahead and share with you an anecdotal story that will help put it into perspective.
Yeah.
It's called a life-saving policy. Mark and David were childhood friends who shared a passion for technology. After years of working in the corporate world, they finally took the plunge and started their own software development company. They worked tirelessly to grow the business, each owning a 50% stake in the company. The business thrived, but along the way, they both understood that with success came significant financial risk. During a conversation with their business consultant one day, the topic of risk mitigation came up. The consultant suggested that Mark and David take out life insurance policies on each other. It's important to think about the what ifs, the consultant said. If anything were to happen to either of you, having an insurance policy would allow the other to buy out the deceased partner's equity in the business without involving family members or other potential complications. Though they didn't think much of it at the time, they decided it was a wise move. They each bought policies that would pay out enough to cover the value of the other's equity share in the business. A few years later, tragedy struck. David was diagnosed with a terminal illness, and though he continued to be involved in the company for as long as possible, it became clear that he didn't have much time left. The business was still growing, and both partners had poured their hearts and souls into making it successful. But as David's health deteriorated, a new reality began to emerge. What would happen to the business once David was gone? David had a wife and children, and although they had no interest in running the business without a plan, his ownership stake would automatically pass to his wife. This could complicate things for Mark, who wasn't sure how to navigate a partnership with someone who didn't share his vision for the company. But thanks to their earlier decision to take out life insurance policies on each other, Mark didn't have to worry about this. When David passed away, the insurance policy paid out, allowing Mark to buy David's equity share directly from his estate.
Wow.
Mark now owned 100% of the business and was able to continue running it without any disruption. David's family received financial security through the insurance payout, and Mark could focus on growing the company without any legal or operational complications. In the end, the insurance policy was a lifeline for both Mark and David's family. It allowed Mark to move forward without the burden of a new, uninvolved partner, and it provided David's family with the financial protection they needed. It was a tough situation, but for the foresight to mitigate their risks helped everyone involved navigate it as smoothly as possible. This story illustrates how a properly structured insurance policy can mitigate the financial and personal risks that come with owning a business, ensuring continuity and protection for both partners and their families.
That's incredible. That's an incredible story.
Right?
It just shows you like you never know what's going to happen. You cannot predict the future, and if you have the proper plans in place, then you will be prepared for the future. And both parties are benefiting. Unfortunately, the one who passed, hopefully he's in a better place now. I know it's just a story, but his wife and kids are going to be taken care of. And then his business partner, his wife probably has no idea how to run the business. If she's like his right-hand man and she knows everything, then his business partner would be happy to bring her on. But if she has no idea, then she could potentially make decisions that are bad for the business, and then the business could go down. And all it takes is one snowball effect to compile, and this slowly, the snowball goes from like this, and then it goes to like this, like this, like this, and then boom, the snowball gets bigger, and then you have both of these as one snowball, and then the
It
snowball
crashes.
becomes like the circumference of this, and it goes more and more until it crashes, and then everything crashes and burns. But with this solution, everyone is happy at the end. His
Yes.
business partner knows how to run the business. He has full control of it, and his wife and kids of the deceased partner are going to be taken care of for the rest of their life. So they're going to be in good hands, and everybody wins that way.
Hmm.
Imagine they had no plan.
Yep.
Imagine they had no plan, and his partner died. The wife and kids, they lost their husband, their father. They lost their main source of income. They
Yeah.
don't have a backup plan.
Yep.
So imagine their quality of life. And then the business partner who has to do everything on his own, it doesn't have his partner anymore. And
Yeah.
then you don't know what could happen in the end. Maybe the business just dies out completely. So
Right. And that happens. It
so
happens.
important to be prepared for like not just a rainy day, but for life in
Yeah.
general.
A disaster day.
It's a disaster. That's a disastrous type of outcome.
Yeah.
So would you
So
rather be on the successful side of it, or would you rather be on the side that I'm just going to roll with the punches and see what happens?
catastrophe.
And you're going to be on the side of catastrophe.
Right.
You
And so
know?
like business owners don't plan to fail, but they do fail to plan.
Oh,
And so
wow!
this is a way to avoid that, right? Don't be one of those people
Absolutely.
who fail to plan. You've got to have a solid plan. This is part of your business
Yes.
plan. And so this information we're sharing with you is to educate you on
Yeah.
what you can do to make your business better and protect it. So remember the 5 Ds of disaster, right? The 5 Ds,
Yeah.
and then mitigate. Do this personal risk mitigation so that this doesn't happen to you.
That was an incredible story. Like that was such a great story to show people the importance of this.
Thank
And
you.
I love that you started
Thank
bringing
you,
the stories in.
ChatGPT,
Yeah,
because
thank you,
I
ChatGPT.
gave it the parameters and it wrote the story. So
I love it, man.
I
I
love
mean,
our computer virtual assistant.
it's so that's like one of the best assistants ever. Just
Right?
like tells you what you want,
I'm
like
telling
it's
you,
so
and it works for free. I don't know if I want to call it a he or she. I think I want to call her a she because it's just like my lady VA. Although it might be a he. I don't know.
the secretary.
We have to be gender neutral here on our computer.
Right. It's 2024, guys. We can't make assumptions.
We
Don't make assumptions.
See, guys, we practice gender neutrality with our Chat GPT.
Oh man, that's so funny. It's so great to share these stories because it makes it relatable for the listener.
Yeah,
You put
yeah,
yourself in Mark's shoes, you put yourself
yeah,
in Ashley's shoes. Whoever the story is, the names of the characters, like you can
yeah,
follow along with what they're
yeah,
doing with their business, and then it's like, oh man, imagine if they
yeah.
didn't have these plans in place, they would have been
Right.
screwed. They would have
Get you
been in the
thinking.
red.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, these are so fun. It makes entrepreneurship fun,
yeah,
and I think
yeah.
it's why a lot of people don't pursue it because it's it's so businessy, and people that are not entrepreneurs, people that don't think that they can be entrepreneurs or learn about it. You have information like this out there where it
Well,
makes it
yeah. I
fun
mean,
to learn
you're
and
itching to learn.
digestible.
Like if you're pursuing entrepreneurship, it's because it's in your DNA and you're itching
Yes,
to learn about it. But you're starting at ground zero, so like
right.
you have to build the foundation, and everybody starts the same way. Like every baby is born crawling.
Yes.
Nobody is born ready to walk, ready to run, and so like as you grow, you need good sources of information to help you grow properly, right? Correctly, to
Absolutely.
walk right and all that. So this is what we do. This is why we're here. This is why we've created this, is to
Yep.
help you. There's a whole lot of places you can go for information. Some
Yep.
of it's misinformation, some of it's disinformation, some of it's valuable information. And you can either go out there and pick your little pieces and compile them together, or you can come to a place like this and we are structuring it all for you with the small business improvement plan. So you get the whole big picture from start to finish, because that's where we're going with this. We start with a startup, we help you scale up, and then we help you exit your business for a huge profit. And
Yes.
so you don't have to just rely on our information. I'm not encouraging you to just come here for
Right.
information to the Entrefluential, to the Entrefluential Training Company, to Coleman Tanner Consulting, to Coleman Tanner Realty, for all of your solutions. Go to other places as well, because there's a lot of valuable information out there. Just make sure you put your filter on so that you're gathering the right information from your sources. What I recommend that you do is
Yes.
find 3 key sources of information. Like, I have more than one source of information. I love Tony Robbins. I love Amy Porterfield.
Yes.
I love Rachel Miller.
Brendan Bouchard.
I love the Bible. I love Brendan Burchard. So, like,
Yeah.
find 3 to 5 different sources of information that you can gather. I love the Educator Preparation Institute for exit planning, and then there's I'm looking at getting the SBI to become a small what's it called, certified CBI, certified business intermediary.
Yeah.
That, there's I love CCIM. Like, there's places that you can go to get skill building information, right, to build yourself up so that you can have the right credentials for your industry, whatever that is. Go find those places. Go find the trade shows to attend where you can sharpen your saw and meet with other people who are like-minded, so that you can grow into a better version of a business owner than you are right now, right? Have the end in mind when you begin. Plan your work, then work your plan, like Stephen Covey wrote.
Yeah, and I love that you said about getting in touch with people who are basically aligned with what you're doing, because when there's a quote, and a lot of people say this, but like, you want to find out who you are, look at your close friend group. Look at your friend group, and you'll learn more about yourself. Like, you look at the people that you're closest friends with.
Yep.
If you're friends with junkies and you're friends with people that are like, not that are just coasting through life, those are not the people that are going to help you move forward and help you get to the next level, help you get to you 2.0. You want to surround yourself with these people that are already in the industry. Like, find entrepreneur friends and learn from them, because when you make friendships with them and they like you and they trust you, they're going to want to help you. When you meet the right people, they're going to want to see you win. And when you're hanging around the wrong people, which I've learned from experience, they don't want to see you win. They don't want to help you.
Misery loves company.
Yes.
Right? Misery loves company, and birds of a feather flock together.
Absolutely.
So what kind of birds do you want to align with? Hey, if you want to be a lion, you got to run with the lions.
Yeah, you absolutely do. Like, make new friends, guys. If your friends aren't supporting your dream, go and find people.
And you should pick people that are at a higher level than you are too, right? So that
then you can learn.
You can get some spillover from success.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yep, me too, man. This is awesome. This has been awesome.
I agree.
When we get together and we do these shows, because it's insightful for both of us,
I have learned so much since we started this podcast. It's unbelievable, and it makes this information fun for me to learn.
Me too. Sebastian's going to start working on bringing some guests in. He's going to handle the scheduling of some future guests, because we want to learn from them as well. And if you're interested, like if you're gelling with this and you have some experience already in the areas that we're talking about, like for instance, if you sell life insurance and you know about these policies, the D&O policies, things that people should have to mitigate risk, reach out to us, man. We would love to have you on an interview and talk about what's practical. How does this all work? Where can people go to get an application? We need that information to share with our people. We would love to have you on.
Yeah, because people aren't taught this, and just like this information.
Oh, you're not learning this in high school.
You don't learn it in school. You don't.
You are not learning about risk mitigation in business. I took business education in high school, and I learned a lot about marketing, but I did not learn anything about risk mitigation.
Stuff like that is, absolutely.
I didn't learn it until college, until law school. That's where I learned it.
Yeah, and so like you leave high school and then you go into the real world, into the workforce, and then entrepreneurship endeavors, and you don't know these proper plans and procedures for running it the right way. You don't know.
That's why we're here for you, baby.
Exactly. Absolutely. We like to learn this stuff for ourselves, and we give back by sharing it with you guys. By doing this show, is I want everyone to have access to this information. I don't want it to just be for a select few people. I want everyone to learn about it.
Yep. And if you need some hand holding, some one-on-one coaching, we're happy to do that too. I mean, we can't work for free on that part, but we can make it worth your while You
Yeah,
get
we
what
can
you
show
pay
you
for in
where to
life.
start. Absolutely. If
Mhm.
you have no idea where to get started, we'll help you with that. We have
Yep.
courses, we have workshops,
Yep.
and it's it's
Yep.
it's been
Just
a fun journey to do this show. I
yep.
can't believe we're on episode 72. Soon we'll be at
Yep.
100.
Yep. Yep.
I'm excited for it. It's been a blast to be able to do this and to learn from you, to learn like from the people that like from commenting when they leave comments. We pick up on little things that we can do better. We pick up on what's working and what we can do better on. Like it's
Mhm.
been an
And
amazing
the
journey.
books that we read, like Think and Grow
Yeah.
Rich, man. Like I just finished reading Think and Grow Rich again this week. And I got one
Wow.
section that I need to go back and copy the notes down into my personal book. But I take
Yeah.
like the hardcore stuff from this. I made so many highlights. And look, when I read this book for the first time was in junior high school. So like go back to
Wow.
these great books, Think and Grow Rich. Go back to these great books and pull
Yes.
out what you feel is valuable and important. It's instructional. It gives you guidance on where to go. Like that's things that we share for are information that we've gathered from other sources.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, man. So we are boom. We're at an hour. We need to go ahead and wrap it
Yep.
up. So do you want to go ahead and close this out?
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm so happy. Like we've seen the subscribers going up. We know that a lot of people are enjoying this content, and I'm so happy that you guys are enjoying it and learning from it. Whether you guys tune into this episode while we're live, whether you watch it in an hour from now, a week from now, a month from now, thank you guys for taking the time to watch the episodes and for supporting us. We're gonna keep doing more to improve and give you guys better quality content. Thank you
Yeah.
guys
If
so
you want
much for being
Sebastian
a part of
or me
this.
to be a guest on your show, let us know. We can do that.
We would more than love to do that. We'd love to be a guest, and we would love for you guys to be a guest and
Mm-hmm.
help put out more information into the
We're
world.
going to create a mastermind alliance with other podcasters.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate your support. We both love you guys. We pray for you guys. Thank you guys for being here and for being part of the Entrefluential Life family. And
Amen.
I want you guys to go be a light to others and
Yes.
go out there and
And amplify
amplify
your
your
message.
message.
Have
Thank
a
you.
great day, everybody. God bless you all.
God bless you
See you
guys. We
next
love you
Tuesday.
guys. So we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, you guys.